Ooh, might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good? Welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha Male God, 51 Spade, aka the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building.
It is a new season of Relations, and you know how we normally do it. It's 2 topics in 1 hour. But we have a guest with us today, so we're going to talk to him directly about those two topics in 1 hour. It's really one topic.
First time we had a live guest.
First time ever.
Everybody been asking.
And he is a high value man. It seems like every single conversation that we really have had on Relations somewhere falls back on what a high value man wants, what he's attracted to, etc., etc. So with this high value man, we're going to talk about his choices and challenges. So I'll introduce him. His name is Bobby. Say hello.
Hello. How's everyone?
Hello. So let's get this out of the way, because I know the first thing is, well, what makes him so high value? So
what is it that you do?
Right. What do you do?
That's what everybody want to know. What you do?
I do marketing. I've been doing marketing for about 14 years now, and I got to the point where I have a small agency up under me, and I manage marketing dollars for quite a few companies online. Everlast being one of my clients, cookie companies, big and small.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to ask a
know
personal
that,
question.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm going to go personal. You don't have to give me an exact number. Give me a roundabout of what someone in this type of business makes per year.
Multiple 6 figures.
Okay. So does that check your list? High value. Okay. So one of the things that I found out about you first is that you were high value. The second thing I found out about you is that you have custody of your children.
That is correct.
And so from where I come from, that you don't meet men like that have custody of their kids. Mm-hmm. So my first question for you is, what propelled you to go after your children?
Without getting too personal, it's just I didn't like their living situation at the time. So, I just really wanted better for my kids, whether that was schooling, whether that was, their living situation. I just wanted more for them. So that's the reason for me pursuing that.
Is a personal question, like, was that something that your dad did for you? Was it something that your dad didn't do? Was it something that just made you make a conscious decision to say, for my kids? Mm-hmm. And do you have boys, girls? Like, I know they don't know. So
yeah. Got it. Yeah, so my dad wasn't involved in my life. And, I had a lot of broken promises growing up. My dad would tell me he would send me things and things like that. But over the years, none of them things came. So I always said I'm going to do more for my kids. I got 2 boys and a daughter. My boys live with me full time. My daughter, me and the mother split custody. So that's the situation as it is now. But, yeah, I just wanted more for my kids.
Okay. So in the society that we live in, it's a lot of men that complain about their baby mamas.
Yeah.
Not dropping them off on time, can't see them. Just a lot of stuff that we're culturally more familiar with than what you have going on. Yeah. So when you hear music that references the bad baby mama, what do you think, being that you took the steps that you took, what do you think when you hear men complain? Whether it's a friend, whether it's a song, just what do you think of the overall situation, baby daddy, baby mama, and her acting up? From your standpoint, especially after pursuing your own children, what comes to mind when you hear this stuff?
I think that's normal. There's a lot of emotions involved when it comes to, baby mama and baby daddies. But, you just got to push through that. There's nothing that's going to keep me from wanting to see my kids. There's nothing that's going to keep me from wanting to be in my kids' life. That's really what it comes down to. I understand it, but, I'm not with it, especially when it gets toxic and you guys are doing things in front of the kids. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to for me.
From your experience, because I know you personally. So from your experience, would you say at any point in time either baby mom have done something that you was like brought you out of character,
Always.
and then you like, you know what? I gotta put the kids first. Like, did you ever lose sight of like something they did? And give an example of something that would have brought you out of character, but you still did for your kids anyway.
Yeah, so just driving over an hour to, drop one of my kids off, and the mom not coming to the door because she's upset with something, and having to drive back home. And that got me to the point where I was about to come out of character. But, I just kept it cool and went back home, and, we figured it out from there. But, both of my kids' mother, they kind of said things in hopes that I would kind of fall off in life, upon us going our separate ways. And, now as they realize,
like you ain't shit.
Exactly.
You ain't never gonna be shit. Daddy wasn't shit. You ain't gonna be shit.
Is that your motivation to also for your drive or what you do in life?
Nah, it has nothing to do with them. My motivation is purely just for my kids, really, and myself. I like nice things. My kids like nice things, and I know I can't, take care of my kids if I'm not doing what I got to do. But that type of shit does motivate me. When people downplay me or try to act like I ain't about my business, then I'm definitely gonna go hard. Yeah.
I want to really find out what gets under your skin, though. Not particularly about your baby mama, but particularly about the world you live in and men who don't pursue aggressively like you do. Because I hear that all the time. You complain about your baby mama, a person would be like, well, just go get your kids. Take them to court. But is it that easy? You know what I'm saying? I know you did it. So I'm asking someone who did do it, when you hear these men complain about shit that they baby mama doing, does it get under your skin like, nigga, go get your kids? Or is it just another thing on the list about women, that you can relate to?
It's something that I can relate to. I feel like everything is set up for the women to win in these situations. Okay. It makes it super difficult for men to come out on top.
Elaborate. It's set up for them to win. It's set up for them to win. Because I don't want to gloss over that. So since you say it's set up for the win, because a lot of people gonna be like, well, what does he mean set up for us to win?
They just gonna take whether it's the judge, whether it's a police officer coming out to the house, and then in any of those situations, they're going to take the women's side automatically. In my experience, and from stories that I've heard from people close to me. So,
in my experience too, I second that.
And that's why I say culturally, we meet more men that have gone through it and are still going through it versus the guy that was like, oh yeah, I just took my baby mama to court and I got my kids.
Mm-hmm. And I understand the dudes who don't want to go through that because women, they make it hard. Women, they get in their feelings about a lot of shit. And man, we don't really. There are men who react from emotion, but. I react off of strategy.
And I'm one of those too.
Logic.
I'm one of those too that have reacted to it because I can honestly say, like I said, I personally know you, but you even talking to you and having conversation that we didn't have, you was like, hey, I'm just putting myself on child support. Yeah. Like not having her put and
I remember that.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those conversations that I'm not gonna hear from another guy. If it was another guy sitting in this seat, I doubt that he would be like, you know what I'm saying? That's just what you do.
But I will say this though, even hearing you say that, the very first thing that I thought about when you were saying that is typically a woman would use that as a bargaining chip. I'm gonna go put you on child support. Right. So you took that away from her. You took that away. Yeah. So was that in your plans? Like
again, I go back off of strategy. I react off of strategy. I'm thinking 10 steps ahead, and I know that's coming down the pipeline because like you said, women, they use that as one of their trump cards.
Yeah. I almost want to use this show as like a learning tool. So I feel like when you said strategy, I felt like it should be on the screen. Black screen, white letters, strategy. Yeah. Because it's so smart. Yeah. But like I said, I don't feel like I'll ever meet another guy that was like, yeah, we fell out, so I put myself on child support.
Yeah. But that's not, I feel like that's knowledge too, because like I said, like I've been through that and I've been through the court system trying to fight for my kids. Now, at that point in time when I was fighting for my kids, I wasn't necessarily sure of the correct steps to take. Mm-hmm. On the flip side of that, my baby mama didn't have that because the state picks it up. They appoint a lawyer. The lawyer shows up. She don't have to show up. Right. And now I'm in there having to get a lawyer and then fight. So it became more frustrating for me. And in the same process, they suspended my license. Yep. They doing those type of things to me because I'm trying to fight. And in me personally, even when I was in court, had my own company at that point in time, the judge looked me in my eye and was like, well, if you don't make enough, then you need to go get another job.
See?
And I'm like, well, do you tell women that when they on child support, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hear if a woman signs up for Section 8 or have any governmental help, I don't hear them saying, well, hey, you just don't make enough, you need to go find another job.
Yeah.
But they do that to men.
Yeah, they do. So knowing that, and I get what you say, I guess I just didn't expect him to say, I can relate. I can understand why they don't want to go through all that. Because when you sat here and you said, hey, I just did what I need to do, I went after my kids, I just feel like if any of that shit would have happened to you, you wouldn't have let it stop you. But men today will go 1 or 2 steps and be like, I can't do this shit. It's too much. And then they're back to putting the shit in their rap song and complaining about it to their homeboys. I don't feel like that would have been your approach.
I got a different type of mindset though, because like I said, I do get it. Women, they can make the situation that bad to make them give up on the situation, essentially give up on his kids, because they be spiteful, they be doing shit. I went through a few things with my kids' mothers. Them telling me, "Oh, my kids are gonna have to be raised by another man," or things like that.
They verbally told you that?
Yeah, to get a reaction out of me, and I didn't acknowledge it. So I just kept it moving, and eventually, they got over it, and they respect me to this, at this point in our lives, but. Early on, it was nasty. It was ugly. So
I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I feel like if there's a guy that's watching the show right now that doesn't make 6 figures, I feel like he would say his money got him feeling that comfortable. Because as you talk, it's very smooth. I mean, he just doesn't get ruffled. He just answered the questions like, it's almost like there's a confidence box in you somewhere that you just don't waver based on that. And is that confidence, is it related to the 6 figures a year?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I was fucked up in life, then I may feel it different ways. I'm not even going to lie.
Okay.
But the fact that I can pay my bills, that child support is not really going to affect me, that, I can do what I want, essentially.
I got a question for you. So let me ask you this. You haven't always been at a high status. At the point in time when you and your baby mama first broke up, what would you say y'all relationship was like? Was it just over and then you was like, well, I need to find a way to take care of my kids? Like, did you have love for her? Was it difficult for you to step away from that scenario, knowing that your kids was at that point in time with her? Like, how did you approach that scenario?
Because a lot of men stay, based on the fact that they don't know who's going to be.
You could have stayed with you could have stayed with your baby mom and just like, let me stay here because my kids are here.
Correct.
You made a decision to say, no, I'm finna leave, put myself on child support, and then figure out a way for my boys.
Okay, so my first one, I just got out of that situation just because it was a toxic situation. It was a situation where it was a lot of disrespectful words being said to one another. Just cop games, things like that.
My dog said cop game. What a cop game.
Cop game.
She would threaten to call the cops on me and be like, this is... And make some shit up essentially about me.
No.
So I just.
So she trying to send you to jail.
Yeah. I mean, it never happened, but she would say.
But she would put you in those situations where the cops were out there, and now you explaining. Was there ever a time where you just automatically saw the cop taking her side, or did they give you a fair chance, or did you find yourself actually really having to explain?
No, I definitely had to explain, but once they realized what I was dealing with, because you can see her character.
Yeah, I can say that. If I was the cop on the scene, I was talking to you, I would believe everything that you say.
Exactly. That's what it came down to. But initially they took her side out the gate.
See, women, it don't always pay that crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cops see it too.
Yeah, they definitely seen it. So
they fuck with you. They can fuck with your freedom.
Yeah.
Tell me how it fucks with you when you are actively involved with someone that you like. Do your baby moms create a different situation while you're out there trying to date?
They have in the past for sure. I've had. I've had baby moms.
I think everybody go there.
So that ain't got nothing to do with being high value or no value. You still gonna have a baby mama problem when you're dating someone else. So how are you navigating through that? Because I did say something to you before we started pre-show. I said you're a pick-me guy. And what that means is if I have a list And I'm going down that list. I'm like, wow, Bobby is really going to check off all my boxes.
Yeah.
And so I would figure if you check off those boxes that women they're after you. You're a pick-me.
Yeah.
So how does your relationship status with your baby moms really affect the girls that you are interested in?
I feel like because of the financial status that females perceive about me, they throw a lot of their values out the window that they probably would have.
Good
kept.
answer. I like that.
No,
they
that's a
they
fact.
throw it out the window,
They
huh?
do, and and then they expect me to change, and that's just not gonna happen.
So when
Based
you say
on how they act.
so when
Yeah.
you say throw their values out the window,
Yeah.
that means to me, I don't want to interpret it. So I'm gonna tell you how I took it.
Yeah.
So you saying that means that they set a standard for them
For themselves. Yeah.
for themselves,
Yeah.
but then they lower that standard because now they see that you high value.
Yeah.
So
That's a
what
fact.
what are you seeing that automatically you like, damn, that just went out the window? Like,
Yeah, just a guy with multiple kids. That's one thing that. I've
so
heard
they say they
women
don't want to date you because you got multiple kids.
Yeah, I've seen like literally females post on social media saying this, and then be in my inbox the next minute. So
Shut up.
We exposing y'all today. Yeah, we exposing y'all today.
Yeah.
So he got kids, that's off my list, but he high value, that put him back on my list because you have children.
Everybody got a price
Money.
tag.
Oh, wow.
See that? Yeah, you heard my dog. My dog say everybody got a price tag. And see, this is the thing that's crazy to me is like, for as long as we've been doing this show, every time I bring something up like this, as far as like high value man, even the late great Kevin Samuels, he would be like, everybody got a price. He said exactly what you.
that.
He did say exactly what you saying, and he was like, secretly women be wanting you to take care of them, so that's why they willing to share a man of in your stature with other women of the world. So how do you view that?
I mean, I get it. Women, they want stability. It's a lot of, I don't know. I feel like they got slim pickings out here when it comes to dudes just being on their shit.
Thank you for saying that.
That's a fact. Either dudes be secretly gay or some shit, or they just play, video games all day. Whatever the case may be, there's not a lot to go,
To go around.
Yeah.
There really isn't. There really
When
I'm
it
glad
comes
that
to-
you're here. When it comes to high value.
Yeah.
When it comes to men like you, we're not meeting men like you every single day.
Right.
I would say a high statistic, like you are 1 in 50.
But see, my son, this is the thing. Like I don't, I agree with you, but to a certain degree, because typically what I get is there's not a lot of men out here. But to me, social media kind of makes it easier for women to kind of like seek you out as far as like
For sure.
option wise.
Yeah.
But to me, these are also the type of women who they're very not cultured, would never end up in places where you would be at.
Right.
Like, so I'm quite sure like high value restaurants or just,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I
saying,
get what you're
diet, like they wouldn't be there anyway. So they have to shoot their shot through
On
that.
social.
Yeah.
So when I hear women say, well, there's not a lot out there, I'm like, some of them don't. It's slim pickings go all the way around because I'm like they wouldn't even be in those
Oh,
scenarios.
that's a fact. Yeah, it is. Trust me, there's a lot of bum ass females out there. Don't get it twisted. Like I would say, 95% of the women that I meet, they just
Bummed out, huh?
at this point in my life, I'm trying to get in them circles where women really be on their business for real. But at this point in my life, yeah, it's a lot of
So now I'm glad that you said that. So red flags, because I'm glad you even went into that.
Yeah.
So red flags when you're dating,
Yeah.
and you say, well, I see a bunch of women out there, they bums to me. So when I encounter this would put you on my bum list.
Yeah.
Give that bum list.
Yeah, just not being independent. That feeds right into that. I don't like insecurity or jealousy. That's a red flag for me. Not sharing the same values when it comes to family. I'm a family man. I love my kids. Ideally, I would have been with one of my kids' mothers, but it didn't work out in that way.
I'm really trying to hold that for the second portion
Okay.
of this show because that's probably going to be our debate section. This is the get to know Bobby and why we love him section.
Got it.
But in about 30 minutes, we going in. Because this is the beginning of the debate show, so we're going to save some of that. I do have a solid question because I've had the pleasure of seeing you with your ladies. And all of them look a certain way. Very small waist, a big old booty.
Yeah.
You know, they're not shopping at the corner store for their weed either. These girls look good, whether you paying for it or they're paying for it.
Yeah.
They are what I would say is your standard video vixen. So I know that they are the type that would date an athlete or a rapper. I can see both of them with any rapper or any athlete on the planet. Either one of your baby mamas I'm talking about.
Okay.
So with that being said, typically women that date athletes and rappers are after the coins.
Yeah.
So how are you picking and choosing knowing that you don't, I hope you don't want anybody for your money. I know you're comfortable with your money, but I don't think you go out seeking women who say, I want a man for money, but you are picking typical women that date men for money.
So my first kid's mother, you know, I wasn't at where I'm at right now when I met her. So, you know, I give her that.
Okay.
But, you know, my second kid's mother.
So you saying you got taste, basically. She got it wrong.
Yeah, for the first one, yeah. You know, I was 20 years old when I met her. And we probably was in a relationship for like 6-7 years. My second kid's mother, I was, you know, elevating in life. You know, I was stable. But when it comes to picking women, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta be attracted to you, and that's what I'm attracted to.
Do you go by sight? Would you say like you just a visual person, and then getting to know them is like your second nature type thing?
For sure. Yeah, it definitely starts out visually. You know, both of them I met in person. I didn't meet either of them on social media. So you know that was important. I still prefer to meet women in person.
But you've crossed over. It's not like you've crossed over to the social. So how is that changed for you? How is dating, knowing that you have to go give the gift to gab, which it sounds like you have.
Yeah.
But now it's like social. How do you approach a woman? You already given the idea of how they approach you.
Yeah.
How you see somebody, and now you in this new dating world. How do you approach it?
I just, I jump in the DMs these days.
So what is your approach? This, just so people know, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know. So when you hop in the DM, are you like, I'm Bobby, how you doing?
Nah.
Or are you like, what's up? Are you like, my Instagram gonna speak for itself? Like, how do you approach it?
Nah, I mean, I feel like there are a lot of people getting money, so I don't feel like, I'm special in that regard. And a lot of these females be having a lot of dudes with money in their inbox, but, I just be straight to the point. You been in Florida before?
So you flying them out?
Trying to get flown out.
So nah, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. So now, let me say she said it's a debate show, so we gonna go into debates, and we done had debates about this.
Let's do it.
All right, so you say you want to be flown out.
Yeah.
Are you saying if I fly her out, she knows
This is a good one.
I want some pussy? I mean, my bad.
That's a fact.
I want some of that action. Now, let me not be vulgar. You want action.
I'm definitely getting action. That's a no-brainer.
All right, so now, are you assuming that they know that already, or are you just saying, hey, because I'm flying you out, you should know this?
I feel like both. I feel like they should already know. Like I've seen the little viral videos of women not trying to give it up, but you know what time it is. If a nigga about to spend $500 on a ticket, you gotta know that you're coming out here to fuck something.
Right. So as a lady, and as you being, I would consider you a friend.
Yeah. And
you having a little bit of concern for myself as a woman.
Yeah.
What would be your advice if I said, Bobby, this guy's in my inbox, I really like him, but he lives in Texas? And you know me, I'm a little bit conservative. I'm not fucking on the first date. I'm just not. So what would be your advice to me? Not go?
Or just state your intentions up front. Be like, I'm not interested in having personal relations. I just want to get to know you, and that's just it.
No pun intended, because the show called Relations.
Yeah. So, if he chooses to not pursue from that point, then that's on him. But
he should know that up front. That's fair. I think that's fair enough. And I ask that because you have a daughter. So to say, well, if she getting flown out, she should know she gonna fuck. But one day someone's going to say, hey, come out here and visit me, and your daughter might not be at the point where she wants to have sex.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely tell her, like, if that's not your intentions, don't fly out there. Don't get on that plane because that's what they're expecting.
Yeah. And ironically, out of all of our videos, he's the first person I've heard respond to that without being offensive. He's cool, he's calm, he's not being mean. He's not even taking anything away from the woman, saying, state your intent.
I feel like women know what it is. Like, they be playing dumb. Like, that's just what it is.
But what if I want to impress you? Let's put it all on me.
Yeah.
To me, if you check all the boxes again, and you're that guy, I don't want to make the mistake of flying to Florida and fucking you on the first night. I want you to see all the other values in me because you're so valuable.
But I got a question though for you. I got a question for you though.
Okay.
You said he check off all the boxes, but if you dating somebody, how does she know that?
If I'm gonna fly to see you, because that's why I'm talking about me personally. If we're at the point where you're asking me to fly out, I already know that I like you. I definitely like you if I'm coming out there. But if I might not, it's not that I don't want to fuck you. I just don't want to ruin my chances. And excuse my language, YouTube. I don't want to take my chances in doing something too fast, and then you're not looking at me with the same eyes I'm looking at you in. I see you as husband material. Therefore, if I see you as husband material, I want you to look back at me as wifey material. And to me, in my life, I've never been able to have sex with somebody and take that seriously. If I decided to sleep with them, then I'm saying to myself, okay, this is going to be one of those times where this is just going to be fun for me. I'm not looking for anything long term because I've already screwed that up.
I don't know that females actually like some of the dudes that they go and see when they get flew out. I think it'd be like a look for social media, and they want to show off to their friends, like, I got niggas flying me out.
I agree.
Because
that's why I said that about the checking the boxes. I'm like, how does she know that you got the boxes checked out?
But when you get there, have you seen his house? If I pull up at Bobby's crib, I'm probably deciding that we're not having sex tonight. Even though I'm in the mood based on everything I see so far, if I see how he lives, the way he carries himself, even fuck the money, just the way he presents himself, the way he treats a lady, it's going to make me think I'm not about to hold myself out to this guy. This guy is worth me waiting for, and I'm worth waiting for. That's what I'm...
That's another thing that people got twisted. Like, waiting for this doesn't mean it's going to be a long-term relationship.
Correct.
Really?
That's a fact.
And I was going to say that too, because even while you were saying that, I was like, that's cool. But it's kind of like, to me, Bobby set it up right, to me, of just what I was hearing. One, he said, when he jumps in a DM, it's just something that it's just a person that he see. Yeah. He doesn't really know anything about her. He don't know her personality. He's not going to know any of those things, but he know he like that. Mm-hmm. And to me, females are the same way. To me, you don't know nothing about him, but now it's your price tag that changed whether you getting wet or not. You know what I'm saying? It's you walking through a threat. It's the threshold that you. Well, I'm speaking from personal experience because I've had women tell me I'm not gonna have sex with you. Indeed. Take them to the crib, and it's like all of a sudden you don't got no bikini I can get in, and
so I can get in this pool you got back there.
And I'm like, well, damn, we done flipped up from you being conservative to now I'm seeing bare skin and one thing leading to another, and then you just like told me I couldn't smash it. Now you like, well, I normally don't do that, but it was just something about you that I felt like, I don't know if you experienced that, but you know what I'm saying?
But I've had that happen to me though, where I lived in a nice home. I may have met someone in the club, and then they get over, I invite them over for a drink, and they change. It's not like, they ain't like, what's up, ma, like they was in the club. Now, because they see a 3-bedroom, a garage, a little bit more than what they have, it's like, you know what? I need to come at Shorty a little different because this is her living situation. And that's what I mean. You talking to somebody online, but then they pull up to your crib. You got an office. You got your 2 kids. They're well behaved. It's like, you know what? This might be the guy that it's not time to smash him yet because he might be the one.
I totally get that. And me knowing you pick lames though. You know what I'm saying? Like you pick people up, you pick people up on the come up. And that's the difference. Like sometimes I feel like I'm not trying to be funny.
I think you're right though. I do normally pick.
I'm just saying like the reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't want to make this like a woman or a man thing as far as like with preference. But being saved is being saved on both ends. If you a man that's a bum and you say, hey, I pull up to your crib, you got a nice house, garage, this and that. He's like, well, I wanted some coochie, but I can also get saved. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the same thing for him.
Right.
He fly the woman out. She like, well, I'm not gonna give him anything. Then she pull up and now she loosening up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then she gonna blame it on the alcohol. Now she gonna blame it
I'm
on
just
the
the opposite though. Like I like.
But you're
I
one
can't-
person.
Yeah, I am, and I would hope there are more females out like me though that start off one way, want to have a good time, and really have a physical attraction to someone, and then pull up and see that they have a life that I dream about having, and so you don't want to make the mistake of saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. I'm sure you're spraying yourself with perfume before you get out the car. Things change when you see how someone lives.
Right.
So let me ask you this, Bobby. Okay. Does your decision, not saying that you want to, but just does your decision on wifing a chick is based on whether she have sex with you the first night or 90 days later?
No,
Like, does that have any influence, change how you view it?
It doesn't. Nah, it doesn't. Not for me. I feel like, we both grown at this point. If we fucking, we fucking. I'm not looking at you any type of way. Seriously? I'm serious. Because I've waited like 6. I didn't wait. I was still doing my own thing, but I had a female who tried to, make me wait. And it turned out to be just weak as hell. And, what was I waiting for? Like,
there you go.
So the sex wasn't good. You waited for it, and then it was whack.
Yeah. So.
And see, and that's the thing, because like a lot of women, we've brought this up on the show, and I've often said, like, you can line 20 women up, and all of them think they got flame. All of them think they got a cake that's attached to their coochie, that it's just like it fly and everything. And you jump in it, and they be like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm glad I brought that full circle. So you say she was whack. This is what women gonna say. What made her whack? There you go.
It just wasn't hitting on nothing. Like,
What does that mean? It wasn't hitting on nothing. Like it wasn't wet. It was what?
it was just she couldn't really take pipe like that.
Okay,
just,
so she couldn't do.
it was
much.
just
It was so she
It wasn't giving.
It wasn't your sexual preference on how, because I've said this on the show a lot of times. It's like certain women, just how they have preferences on how they want sex. Men have certain preferences on how they like sex. So my dog sounds like he like it wild and raw.
Like
and then, you know what I'm saying? My dog say he like it nasty.
Yeah.
So you can't come in there being pretty, because I've told you that.
Let me spit in your mouth.
There you go. And some women, I hate to say this, but I've said this in the past, like some women even give head like they pretty.
Yeah.
Like they try to have sex pretty. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll be like, well, why they picking the plain Jane? The plain Janes, no, they gotta come out the gate swinging. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be super nasty because they ain't that cute.
There you go. So if you can figure that out, then don't be trying to give head pretty.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And it's whack.
Right.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm just saying I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay. Precious ass. So I'm gonna go back to this whole pick me thing. Because I feel like that's gonna get us into the debate.
Okay.
Because on paper, Bobby,
Yeah.
you're that guy. But you're also that guy who feels like they don't need a woman. A woman meaning like a live-in, cook, clean. Like you're okay with, let me fly you out. We could do a weekend, and then I'm cool with sending you back.
Yeah.
And
Why you saying it like that?
because that's just what it is.
I'm cool with sending you back.
Yeah.
You gotta go back home.
I mean,
See?
but again, when you're that guy, it would seem like he would want someone to do the grocery. When I see a guy in the grocery store by himself, I don't like my guy to go to the grocery store by himself. It bothers me because it's like, it's going to be a woman in there that's going to look at you and wonder, why the fuck is he doing the grocery shopping?
Right.
So for you, if I saw you in the grocery store, I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? So you don't want a woman there to rub your feet, suck your dick, make your food, pack your lunch, do all the things that I feel like a high value man deserves and would want.
I do. And I don't do any grocery shopping. You know, they got Instacart now. So, they drop it right off at the door.
Oh, okay.
They drop it
Got
right
an
off at the
Instacart
door.
membership, do we?
Yeah, we're not doing none of that. But, yeah, females get on my nerves, though. After a certain point, like, they just start to get on my nerves. They just be too emotional. They be... I don't know, especially like these days, like they want to be in a relationship way too soon. Like they be trying
What
to
do
cut
you
off.
expect though? This is where we're going to probably, you might have to like, give me some space. Because it's like you're that. It's like, what do you mean?
But
It's
just
like
chill, like, you know, if it turns into that, it'll turn into it on its own time. Like, don't be rushing it. Like, they get the first phone call, they be like, I'm finna make you mines, and you know, like they'll talk with their friends. I'm talking to my husband, and like I don't like that
claiming it,
Yeah, I'm
claiming
cool.
it.
My dog said I'm cool.
But
cool.
okay, well, seriously, from me to you, what
Yeah,
do
facts.
you expect? You sat here on the first half of this show and said, you know, I'm slim pickings.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of men that do this, and then you agree with me
Just
when
play
I
it
double
cool.
back on that.
Just play it cool, you know.
So you don't think it's exciting when a girl she just met 49 guys and she's on the 50th and it's you,
Yeah.
and you check off all the boxes? You don't understand how that might get her adrenaline pumping?
I do get it, but I'm just not with it. So that's why I just know I'm not with it. That's why I have to fly them in and fly them out. And, you know.
And I also want to say this.
Damn.
I also want to say this too. Even though you're saying this, I want you to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the women that say that about men.
Mm-hmm.
He moving too fast. He act like, you know what I'm saying, I don't got no room to
good
breathe.
point.
He always around, this and that. Now, if that's aggravating, and I know you done had a set of friends that has done that,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't give them that advice. Like, well, damn, you don't think you just the catch
Too
for him,
much.
girl? You know what I'm saying? The rules still apply to me, vice versa.
I don't think so, because none of those girlfriends have came to me and we were able to check off all the boxes. That's not his situation.
So all them, so all your friends meet bums. They just
I
don't
didn't
meet
say they're
nobody.
bums, but there's something about them where I could say you need to slow your roll, or you need to make sure he slow his, because he ain't. I don't think he's potentially the one. I would not say that about Bobby.
Cool, but you wouldn't say that. But that don't mean women wouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
They could still say there's something about him that he don't check off every box.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, so he just said, hey, I fly him in, fly him out. They could have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he don't check off every box.
Just in theory.
Yeah.
Just in theory, making him a high value.
But
man.
to me, that's the problem with women. Y'all think in theory. You know what I'm saying? And y'all don't think in logic.
Yeah.
So you still gotta have logic when you talk about that. So it's not like a man see a beautiful woman, and then I'm just like, damn, I just gotta press up on her real quick and just put all my energy off on. She gonna be like, God damn, give me some
Gonna try to
space.
shake him a little
So
bit.
when he's saying play it cool, to me, I understand that from the standpoint of, okay, I invited you here. I opened my doors for you. Play it cool. Don't act like
You ain't never been nowhere before.
like you ain't got no home
Yeah.
trend.
Real shit. And I agree with you.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on that. Okay. But I still, and it's not so much the word accountability, but it is. Because you know that you're high commodity. It's not you have all the self-esteem.
But you ain't
in the
asked him
world.
that.
What?
How he feel? You keep telling him that.
That he's a high, he said he knows he's a high commodity though. He knows
and,
that.
and I have those thoughts. I mean, that's what happened, you know, before my second kid's mother. You know, I remember just sitting outside like, damn, I'm chasing all these different women and having different women at the crib and thinking I wanted something real. And I don't know, I got it and it started to turn into something that I didn't
that
want.
you didn't like.
Yeah.
But do you think this was because she was showing those red flags, or is something with you that is keeping you from committing to the level of living with somebody, marrying someone the whole
it's definitely
nine?
something with me, you know, like I said, because I get annoyed quick. And I just, you know.
So let me go ahead and ask the question, because you know what I'm saying, I don't want to do no elephants in the room, because they're gonna be like, they didn't ask him no hard questions. Would you making statements like they get on my nerve quick?
Yeah.
Would you say, look, man, I'm flying you in. I want to have sex with you. We could probably discuss about relationship shit later if you make it that far. But I'm just really here for the physical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Touches and whatnots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are you approaching it from that standpoint, or you just like, I just don't feel like I'm in that space right now because I'm chasing my money? I don't know what it could be.
Yeah, I mean, when I fly them in, you know, we definitely have a conversation on the phone. It's not like, oh, I'm finna fuck when you get here, but, you know, we just talk, and I just check their temperature to make sure they know what time I'm on, and usually they know what time it is. So, you know,
You're giving up the cheeks.
Yeah, I'm definitely clapping cheeks, dog. But that's really what it is, you know, and I prefer to fly out at this point in my life because I know my business. Well, that's really what it comes down to. My business comes before any relationship building.
There you
for
go.
me. You know, I learned early on that I can't deposit love in the bank when the lights is out, and You know,
No.
God damn.
I can't deposit love in the bank. You know, when the lights is out. So you know, I remember times where, you know, my lights would get cut out because my car just had a big problem and I had to pay for my car to get fixed, and I had needed a couple extra days to turn my lights on or some shit like that. And you know, love is cool. It's one of the best emotions to feel. But you know, I'm just real. I just gotta take care of my kids. I take care of my mom. I take care of myself. You know.
Why kids though, Bobby? If a woman annoys you to no degree, you would rather fly them in and fly them out.
Yeah.
Then why would you make children?
My pull-out game just weak. You know? That's what it come down to. I hate pulling out.
God damn! Y'all getting a show today. That fool say my pull-out game is weak.
It's weak. That's really what it come down to. I hate pulling out. That shit weak as hell.
And there you go, because everybody be wanting to say that we don't give honest shit on this show.
He is 100% honest.
And for women that don't believe that,
I know I'll be wrong. Like,
see, he know he wrong. He know he wrong.
The thing is that they are thankful though is that he can take care of the kids. So thank God for that. But I used this analogy the last time we talked off camera of tricking a woman off the street.
Yeah.
I said something profound about the women you choose. To me, just based off how they look, because I know I don't know them personally, but based off of how they look, they can have anybody they want.
Yeah, they could.
They picked you. And then you got them pregnant. And then you told them to haul ass. Now who the fuck else they gonna market themselves to? You think another high value man is gonna want to come in and take care of your kids?
I do think so. Well, they don't gotta take care of my
They
kids.
don't, but essentially, if I'm your baby mama, one of the questions is, do you have kids? If she's dating a new guy, I got two. She's not gonna say, well, my baby daddy rich though, so you don't gotta worry about that. Because then that that's giving him.
Will say that though.
You do? But then you're getting yourself a piece of shit. You don't want a piece of shit for a stepdad, even though they don't have to take care of him financially. It's like, when I look for guys, my first red flag is a baby mama. So now I need to do an investigation to see if they still fucking. And then I got to do another investigation to see if this bitch crazy. Is she going to start showing up to my house? So it's like different levels when you find out that someone has kids. But the third or maybe first or second thing you think about is, what is going to be my responsibility to this woman and her children? I don't think a woman that's looking for a good man is going to exempt the responsibility just because she has a stable baby daddy.
Well, it's really getting pregnant is really up to the women. You know,
really?
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, there's birth control. She can demand a condom. There's so many things that she can put in place to make sure she doesn't screw that up for herself.
Facts.
Yeah.
He said, so basically, in other words, if y'all don't understand this, accountability.
I still want to self-accountability. No, I get it.
No.
I wouldn't use a condom with the motherfucker either.
But that's it. Now, okay, so now I'm glad now we know the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we know the truth. So by you saying that, Kana, you know what I'm saying? By you saying that, this is the thing. This is what men are up against all the time because
that's
like
why we're talking about it.
Because like
it's the mentality because knowing he checks those boxes,
but if he was
condom is going to be the last thing on my mind after talking to him and seeing how he lives, even though it's stupid. I'm not saying that's smart.
Yeah.
I'm saying that certain things go out the mind frame, especially logically, when you meet somebody you think. I'm being careful with my words. When you dating somebody you think could be the one.
But you're assuming
it's just the last thing on your list.
But you're assuming that to me. So you assuming that he's the right person on the list. But you know what? To me, one of the things about relationships, a lot of relationships, he's right. They go left because of finances. So there's a lot of women and men that say, you know, I love this person. And now you find a person like Bobby that's dedicated to make sure that he's not going back to where he was.
Right.
So now he's dedicated to his job, just like certain women that might be a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever. Their job don't come second to no damn relationship.
No, it doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? So he still has the right to do that, and at the same point in time, he likes to play too.
Right.
I think,
and I may get to a point where I'm past that, but at this point in my life, that's where I'm at with it.
I think you might have debunked that question. She about to fly.
yeah.
You about to debunk.
You know what it was? it's just, again, I'm going to point back to how cool, and it's not a big deal for him that he has children with women that he's not with. And I've heard some of the shit that they do, and even though I'm 100% against it, I'm like, I can understand her frame of mind, because she went from beautiful, no kids, traveling the world, doing what the hell she want, and now she got a baby on her hip, and the guy she let get her pregnant is not interested anymore, and
But
he's
that's
actually...
that's the operative word. She let.
Okay.
Yeah.
You listen very well, too.
Yeah, she let.
My dog said that's the operative word.
Yeah.
She let.
Yeah.
And
But I think it's the lack of compassion, which is what I was getting to. It doesn't feel like he feels bad about her not being as marketable, since he's marketing. She's not as marketable with a baby than she was without a baby. I know that because I don't have children, and that put me in a way higher bracket. I'm talking about even over women who are finer than me. The girl that's finer than me got 3-4 fucking kids. I don't have any. So the man is going for me over that. So I feel like he doesn't have compassion for her losing value.
Yeah. I might be cold a little bit, but I don't think too many niggas is really gonna pass up a chance to be with them. You know, they are beautiful women, and I think
someone
they can
said,
still have.
someone said, "Please stop, Bobby."
They gonna get on Bobby ass.
Damn. They said you gotta be stopped.
Not please stop him.
Damn. I told you, boy. I guess.
Finish your thought, because I out of all the things about you, cold is one of the characteristics that I'm gonna put on this, because you do not react to the things that I say that I think are great points when it comes to tricking a woman off the street. You're like, you know what, Kane, I never thought of it that way. Like, that could be true. It's just like you're missing that whole key compassion for these women.
I don't really think that's a real thing, though. Like, when you say, I don't know, I feel like the dudes that they want to talk to, they're going to talk to them regardless, unless they was going to, chase some dude at Harvard or something like that. That might be a different story, but, like, I feel like niggas around here are going to talk to them regardless, in my personal opinion.
So that makes you sleep better at night, knowing that they're cute and they'll move on. Because I feel like you've said that to one. I'm like, you'll be straight. You'll be all right. You'll find something and everything will work out for you. Haven't you said that to somebody?
To them, but,
no?
I do feel that way. I feel that way for sure.
And I do have a question for you, Kane, because you keep saying, you say, like, he is approaching it from a cold standpoint. Mm-hmm. Okay? My thing is, women take that same approach. Let's say if it's not a man like him, they have a same cold approach when it comes to child support, or the man that they chose is working at McDonald's and he like, I don't got enough. That same coldness that you talking about,
she's that way.
She's the exact same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You better find a way.
And you know what I'm saying? Got a cold side. Trust that.
Yeah, you need to. So to me, I don't want to even use the word that you're saying like cold. I'm just like, that's reality for most people's scenario. Whether you high value, low value, whatever the case may be, because I don't see women showing compassion like, oh damn, they don't need to suspend your license. Damn, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna take that away from you. Like that same cold approach is happening right there to the man. There's no compassion right there. And some of their comebacks be, well, if you didn't want no child, then you shouldn't have nutted in me. That be their comebacks.
That's gonna be mine. If you didn't want to be with me.
So you don't have no compassion on that end, and he shouldn't have no compassion on his end. He has the same. To me, it's like women say those type of things when they know that they have options where they can do better. Well, there you go.
That's the whole key, though. I don't feel like they can. I understand he's pretty comfortable about where they're going to end up. But like I said, I'm only referring to myself. I see the difference with men who approach women with children and women who don't have kids. And I'm not a video vixen. Mm-hmm. But I still grade higher than a woman with multiple kids.
That's cool, but you have your option though. You have your option not to get pregnant. You have your option to abort. You have your option to do X, Y, Z make him wear a condom. All of these things before it even go to that. So before you can say, well, he's just cold. I mean, at what point in time are you doing like self accountability to be like, you know what, I probably shouldn't have fucked him without no condom.
Facts. Or yeah.
I don't know. I feel like y'all fall that on. I feel like y'all fall back on that shit as a technicality.
I'm just a realist. Like we're here now. You know what we gonna do about it? I'm finna feel sad.
My dog say we here now.
What we doing? We finna keep moving forward. We gonna live our lives the best way we can. Like,
I just think that from what I know, I feel like after the breakup, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like after the breakup, both of these women tried to get back with you.
Yeah. What's that mean?
That means that they did an evaluation and they are thinking the same way I'm thinking. I got fucking kids from this guy. I got a kid from this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to start over. I would have all those same fears. Not wanting to, not knowing who's going to be the next person I pick. Are they going to be good to my kids? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into considering or dating other people when you have children.
Yeah, I mean, I considered, well, my second kid's mother on, trying to fix that. But there were things that were done afterwards that made me
feel like you're never going back,
Yeah.
and you definitely should never go back.
Yeah.
Even though I'm
So-
standing up for, in theory, what happened, based on what I know that she did, I would say not go back either.
Yeah, so that's just
Because people show you who they really are when shit is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
When shit is good, you don't have no reason to act up.
Exactly.
When shit fall apart, and then you start
seeing how people.
you really deal with
Reacting.
being disappointed or being
Yeah.
upset.
When mad day comes.
When mad day comes.
When mad day comes.
Right.
Yeah.
You see the
Real
person's
person.
true colors.
And that's would be my
That's-
advice to women. Is like, when shit happens, don't blow up to a degree that you can't come back from
And
it.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
He ain't even. He was like, and that's what happened.
That's what happened. They took shit too far. It's not fixable.
I was, considering, I was sitting there thinking, like, do I really want to do this again? I got kids from this girl, and you finna do the shit all over again, but it just didn't work out that way. So I'm happy with my decision. Hopefully, she's in a happy place now. I do, I genuinely want the best for both of them. I want them to be happy.
Do you feel like you communicate in a way that they feel like you want the best for them, Bobby?
Yeah. They have their own feelings and what they want. So, they don't hear what
So
I'm
do
saying.
you blatantly? So give an example, okay? As far as like, you don't got to get like personal, but
Yeah.
but you say you clearly cut, you clearly deliver your message, it's plain cut, dry,
Yeah.
and they saying no.
They just disregard what I say.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you tripping.
Okay,
Where
so
we
why do
gonna
you feel
eat?
that's okay? You just said you gonna disregard what he say. Why you feel that's all right?
I'm not saying that it's okay, but I'm saying that I'm not gonna give up that easy if I had your kid.
Yeah.
If I had your baby, I'd be at your motherfucking house every day.
Why do you think that's okay?
It probably isn't, but I'm just letting you know my level
know
of
what tripped me
mentality if you give me a kid.
You know what trips me out? What trips me out is this, especially you, okay? Trips me out is y'all look at people like Blueface and Chris Sean and it's be like, that's a toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's wrong what they doing. Fighting in front of each other, arguing with this and that. And then you telling this man that, well, if I had a kid from you, I'll be in front of your doorstep every day. Ain't no I mean. It's the same, exact same thing.
It's not, though.
It is, because that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. It is not.
I didn't say I would show up and break all the windows. I would just say I would show up.
It's
I'm not going
trespassing,
to.
Kano. Like, goddamn.
Like, that's my place of peace. Like, that's really going to take me to another level.
I don't know how wrong it is. You just mean that ain't that bad.
Okay,
You're
so maybe I
trespassing.
used a bad example of me being aggressive about getting my baby daddy, because that's really where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
There's no way it's going to end with you saying to me, you know what, after I've had a baby, this, you know what, this ain't going to work out. I think you could be happy somewhere else. I want you to go be
Yeah.
happy. That breakup ain't going to go that easy.
But that's the thing that people think kids mean that person has to be with you, and that's not the case. Like, kids, you just had a kid. That's really it. You know, that person don't owe
Bobby.
you nothing. That person don't owe you nothing. Like, people, like,
It's a whole person
yeah.
that you have to raise.
And I'm raising my child. You know, I'm there. I take care of my child. I give you money for the child. I give clothes, all that. The child is good.
So what about, like,
I don't owe you anything.
you like. Do you know what like the white picket fence is?
Yeah. That's
So if you get pregnant from somebody, trust me, during those 9 months, that's what you envision, the white picket fence.
some women. I don't feel like all women do. You know, I feel like that depends on your upbringing.
And I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know, if you was raised around a bunch of strong women who worked and did what they had to do, that white picket fence thing ain't the same as
But
somebody.
I just think that's like
been in there.
technically the right answer, and you're like giving us a, if you're raised by strong women, you'll be all right. I feel like this is your whole
I'm not saying.
personality.
I'm just saying, like, she is an independent female, like, just period.
Of course,
So what
she
are
is.
your-
You picked her.
I'm glad you said that. So what are your views about the independent females now that are out here now? Like, it sounds like you in full support of that. Like, you like,
sure.
hey, y'all fought for equal rights. Y'all want to be equal. So you don't have to subject yourself to feeling sorry for them because that's the stance they take. Or am I wrong at reading this? You correct me if I'm wrong.
Nah, I mean, I definitely salute independent women. Women just gotta just listen and just shut up, man. Like straight up, like they
Listen
just can't
and shut up.
They just cannot just talk shit all day. You know, not with somebody like me. I'm not gonna go for it. Because like I said, I get annoyed quick. I don't want to hear nothing about my first kid's mother. I don't want to hear nothing about this chick. Like, just if I'm telling you something, take it for what I'm telling you, and just understand, I'm being honest. If you feel like I'm not being honest, God, He's gonna show you.
Amen.
And if you find out some shit, then you can cut me off. But to sit and constantly argue about something that's not real it's gonna push me away. It's not gonna make me love you anymore. Like I said, I just get tired of shit quick.
Right.
And I'm
So
trying
has
to-
that happened to you a lot where
Yeah.
people have accused
All
you of
the
cheating and you
time.
weren't doing anything?
All the time.
So there was nothing you did or left
Yeah.
around that would have given that idea. This is just something that they manifested in their head.
Facts.
So-
I can literally answer the phone. Like, say somebody calling my phone, I don't be running into the bathroom to pick up the phone. I'll answer it in the car. The phone connects to the car.
Right.
I'll talk, and that can ruin the whole rest of the day.
A conversation that she
yeah.
overheard.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's not good.
just
That's not good. That's not good, but you know where that comes from, right?
I do.
Trauma.
But I don't care though. Like, like that's what I mean. But like, I just get annoyed.
He said, yeah.
So you don't care
don't
about
care.
trauma.
No, like that's not my problem.
And I think that is like serious. That's the reason why you are the
I
way you
got
are. And that's
trauma.
why I'm feeling the lack of sincerity.
Yeah.
Because there is something that's making these women do what they do, and you just don't care about what's making them do it. The fact is that they did it, and it's just not it.
Yeah, I'm a little cold for sure, but business is really what it comes down to. Like I said, I'm at that point where just business just means the most to me, and that's what I tell females. I don't even try to play with their feelings at this point because I know I'm not this.
Let me ask you this. So you say that you cold. Do the women that you date know that you date multiple women? Because women gonna jump on me and be like, I didn't ask. I didn't jump into your business. Like I let you off the hook. So
be cool
you
with
dealing with a woman? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. You got the flow.
Yeah.
They cool. You said
Yeah,
they
they
know
cool
you
with
date multiple women, and they cool with that. Do you think they cool with that because you high value?
Yes.
Okay.
So why aren't you on the poly train? Why do you feel like, first of all, you would be a candidate for a polyamorous relationship?
Yeah, I feel like I would be a candidate, but I just don't want none of those titles at this point. Yeah, I don't want no relationship. It's, if we just happen to all three get together and do what we do, that's one thing. But to be in a relationship where in a relationship, you gotta somewhat care about your partner's feelings. And I just know I don't care.
Oh my God.
I just know I don't. At this point, I don't care about your family. I don't want to hear about none of that at this point. It's not cold. I just,
Yeah, it is. And I feel
cold,
like
baby, it is cold.
it is. I feel like this should be on your dating profile, though.
It is.
All right, so let me do this.
Shit.
Let me do this.
My verbal dating profile. I tell them.
All right, so let me do this. What is something that you tell a woman and you giving them this information up front? Is it like pushback? Is it like nothing said, or it just pops up?
They
Is
always try to spin it. They be like, "Well, I'm not saying we got to be in a relationship right now, and You know, they always tell me that type of shit, and I'm just like, look, this is what it is. But I know almost every female that I deal with, they always end up trying to be in a relationship for real.
And this is, and again, I'm asking you again, do you understand why? I think if you understand your position and you understand what's out there for women to pick from, it's almost like you should know that, okay, it's just like a girl you pick up from the projects and you know you're taking her to the White House. You don't have a conversation with her from the time she get in the car all the way to the White House that this is just a different environment, but you're going to understand that she doesn't understand that environment. That's why you're going to tell her which one the salad fork is.
But that's why I'm cold, though, because I feel like if I give them any false sense of hope, then they're going to try to take it a step further.
Oh, see, now this is different.
Yeah.
So you're saying you take that approach because that's your accountability. You know you're high value. So don't let me reel her in too much.
Yeah.
Let me let the line loose. Because if I reel her in too much,
I don't try to
I'm wrong.
pour on the extra love and all that. Even with my kid's mother, I'm cold with them because I feel like, if I show any sign that there's interest there, they're gonna try to take it further.
He won't me.
Like.
You know what? I'm not even gonna stray from that because we've had this conversation on this show, and I've said a lot of times it's like that is what kind of pushed men away quickly, like because women they'll go from having sex till we go together, having sex till you're my man. You know what I'm saying? You my boyfriend. They and women will start saying shit like, well, I manifest this. And I read in my Bible last night that this send me a man and we had sex.
But I get that. A woman is letting the dude inside of her. And I get why they feel like that. But just if you want somebody to stop having sex. Like, period. Women, they supposed to value themselves. And if they don't value themselves, if they just fucking anybody, that's what comes with it. These women is fucking these days. Like,
that's it?
Like,
they ain't looking for husbands, Bobby?
If that's really what it comes down to. For me, if you're gonna value yourself, if you finna fuck, then don't be trying to act like,
Mother Teresa.
So you saying it's an act. You saying like what's going on now, they
like
really
women
don't want a husband. They just want to get to the bag, get to men who have the bag, and get to support.
I don't know if it's an act. I do feel like, there are some women that want husbands, but, they just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of, promiscuity. Just a lot, people are desensitized to sex these days.
They are, but I feel like you're desensitized to sex.
I am. I know I am, though. That's the thing. Like, females, I feel like females, they want to be like that. But then they also want to be emotional at the same time and have it. I don't have attachment to somebody emotional about it. I can.
If you met, I don't know, I'm gonna say Michelle Obama, but let's say Michelle Obama is,
I think she
25.
Yeah.
Young, smart, intellectual. I feel like even if you met her, you would still have this approach. So 'cause I'm trying to figure out, is it the woman you're meeting or is it you?
No, it's not. It's me. I know it's me.
And I'll go on the record too. Like I like how you like this is what B was right because you just tried to spin something.
I did.
Quick. I know, but it ain't finna work. You know what I'm saying? How many women you meeting? Like you're talking about Michelle Obama, who was basically like what 40, 50 years old.
That's why I put her at 25.
That's right, and at 25-year-old, she ain't that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm taking her character and putting it in the body of a 25-year-old.
I got that, but men can do that. Men can say, if I take my 45-year-old self and then and transport it to my 25-year-old, the man would be a different person. You're doing like if shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it don't work like that. If he meet Michelle Obama at 25, she ain't that.
Yeah.
She's something else. She might be emotional. She might be the woman that's like, damn, you dick me down, so we go together.
Yeah.
Like you can't spin that and say her mind at that age in 25
what if
is
he
that.
just meets someone who's evenly yoked, makes the same money, essentially children or no children? Doesn't seem like it really matters to you.
No, it doesn't.
But she just rings as wife material.
Yeah.
Finally, would you take a different approach for her?
Not right now.
He firm on it.
Yeah, just because, like I said, I know business, like I said, comes first. That's just what it comes down to for me. I got to make sure that, like I said, there may be a point where I can fall back off of the business, but right now that's what it is. And, like I said, I've tried it in the past, and it just didn't work out in the way that I thought it would. So, yeah.
So you feel like you gave it a shot, and
I did, and I was fucking up the money, and the relationship wasn't what I wanted. So
So basically you just stick to your bag, stick to taking care of your family, stuff like that, and just the women are just extracurricular.
Exactly. It's just they there to have fun, and we gonna have fun when we link. We gonna eat good.
eat good,
We'll
drink
go to the
good, the whole
strip club,
nine.
yeah.
That's the thing, though. When they go home, trust me, every thought is Bobby. Every conversation is Bobby. Like,
I can't help that. Though.
I
Like,
understand. I know you can't help it,
Yeah.
but that's like a girl. Like, you know what he says when he's strolling online? I've heard him say, "Damn, she knew better than that. A bad Instagram girl, 10, and got on leggings with a coochie hanging
With
out."
that monkey out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know better.
You know better.
Yeah.
So he's holding her accountable for knowing what she looks like and
Correct.
still putting it on Front Street.
Yeah.
But you know that.
So if you're holding her accountable, then why aren't you holding Bobby accountable for knowing what kind of guy he is
I am.
and still putting himself,
Stop
making
it.
himself available?
Stop it. You not even finna spin this. that don't work on me. You trying to use like some Jedi mind trick, like it's like that's gonna really happen. That ain't happening on me.
Yeah.
The reality of it is this. He said that he's being honest. Because that's what y'all asking for.
Yes.
So really at the end of the day, if you're being honest, if you just being honest, you being honest, saying this is what I do, I work, I take care of my business, we can have fun. I can fly you in. We can have, we can have that, we can have sex, we can have all those things, we gonna have a good time the whole nine. But if you doing that, then that's not. So holding him accountable for what? For being honest?
Just holding him accountable for being wrapped up in wrapping paper, and then once it's unwrapped, it's not what the person thinks, which is their fault.
Right.
But that's why I said he's a pick me. On paper, he looks like the guy to go after.
But I feel like everybody's wrapped up in wrapping paper.
Thank you.
I feel like
I'm about to say that same
I feel
thing.
like all relationships start out great. It starts the chemistry. You feel like you can't breathe without that person, and then
Have you ever felt like that?
Me
You
and
can't
Phil,
breathe. I feel like you never
I
felt
feel
like that in your
I love
life.
hard though. I feel like I love hard for real, and that's why I choose to put my business over everything because I get distracted by a female. I feel
Really,
like, yeah.
I don't get that from you.
and I also feel this too. Like that was a good point that you brought up, Kana, because I don't want to I don't want to just say like it's like nothing. But you also have to remember this: when men meet women, they wrapped up in paper.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So when we meet women, they wrapped up in paper of what you just accused me of. That's the way I look at it. I don't know how smart they are. I don't know if they educated. I don't know shit. I don't know nothing. I just know you got some big breasts, melons, monkey out. You know what I'm saying? Flat stomach, and on top of that, you want to talk about lying.
Yeah.
Now it's to the point where I don't even know if your body done. I don't even know if it's real. Like I have to ask now, is that stomach yours or was it given? Was that ass yours? Or is it, and women be acting like they offended. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't going on. Like, well, what do you mean? This is all natural, son. I don't know that. I'm out here.
Right. We live in the age of finessing. Everybody's finessing.
There you go. We in the age of finesse, and I like that.
Finessing, so,
And so you feel like you finesse?
Yeah, finesse.
You trying to shake my dog off his square? It's not happening. You might as well just wrap it up.
But like it's a very light finesse. Like I said, I keep it a buck with him.
Right.
I
You
don't
keep it
really-
honest. I think
yeah.
that's the most important part of everything is that you are transparent. So I really can't go after you the way I would have if you weren't honest with these women.
The
If you
kid-
told the truth, fine.
Yeah. The kid thing, like I said, at this point, I don't care too much about it, but I did feel bad initially. Like I said, I considered going back to it, but when you weigh out your options and you see how people act when they upset with things,
She definitely don't have nobody else to blame but herself.
so it's just I'm at this point now. I'm there. I'm doing more than most. Are gonna do for their kids. Like I said, I pick my daughter up every other week. No questions asked. I get clothes for her. I give her money, whatever. And what more can you ask for? I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to move on and be happy with your life. So, yeah.
Understood. All right, guys, that's the top of the hour. We spent a whole hour with a high value man. I know you guys have questions and I know you have comments. Make sure you hit me up at Kana Lassiter Perry on Twitter and Kana Lassiter on Instagram.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining, especially on YouTube and on TikTok. Hey, y'all have any questions, feel free to DM us. We're going to be having live guests on. It might be you in this hot seat next time they go around. I want to thank our special guests for coming on.
Thank you so much.
You have any handles or anything that you want to give out to the people where they can reach you at? They might fly them out. I don't know.
I'm trying to get flown out. I hit Bobby up.
Yeah, for sure. You can hit me at BRichardson0331 on Instagram. I don't really have a Twitter like that. So
Okay. All right, and I know y'all see the new shirts, so if y'all looking for those, go ahead, hit me up on IG. That's Alpha Male God Creations. You know, I'm going to sign us out like I always do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're taking super chats now, cash apps, the whole nine. Support the show. We're giving even a bigger audience, so let's do that. Like I say, always about that time. Peace.